Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are here. We are here in Justice League headquarters, and this is Run Tell That. This Run Tell That is titled The New Jim Crow. Yes, the new Jim Crow. And we have a lot that's going on. And so we're going to be getting into conversation. Oh, no, not conversation. It's going to be me giving the thoughts, giving the perspective that, again, comes down to things that we have talked with people about, share with people about. And so we had this conversation earlier today with someone. And we said to them that, listen, policies, I can deal with people about policies. I can deal with policy. We're going to get into that further. But then sometimes people think the stuff that we're saying is personal. It's not personal. It's what we observe. Because again, it's being concerned about the least and the left out. And again, I say to all y'all, thank you for joining us. And we say share, share, share. This is Ron Tell That. And so with that, we got a lot of things we're going to be covering with regards to changes that we're going to foresee. And so I just got to throw it on out there. Changes that are going to impact many of us. And so we're going to throw this one change, or not necessarily change, but again, this is an element of life that we're dealing with here in the
Feel me? It sucks watching people sleep. I understand now why the higher ups call people sheep. They go where you send them. Of all the things that should offend them, they only focus on what you tell them should upset them. I remember this music exec told me the people are sheep.
So, as I shared, this is what I had posted. And so let y'all know this too. I've had some issues, and not me, not that I've had issues, but I've had some issues with people who are MAGA supporters and Trump supporters or Trumpites, and they've had issues with me. They had tried to get me banned and other things like that because they didn't like the stuff that I was saying that I was putting out there. So that's why this is one-on-one segment, because we did this like 2 weeks ago also, or maybe a week ago. And so again, they forced me to come right back. We right back at it again. We back at it to put information out there. So it's going to be me, and almost as like some might say it's a diatribe, but it's not a diatribe. It's me putting the information out there. And so when it comes down to all lives matter, all lives do not matter. That is hypocritical. That is false. That is not real. When they say all lives matter, if all lives matter, then Black lives will matter. And so people are going to try to tell you that you need to be concerned about a fetus. You need to be concerned about a woman's body. And then they make it seem like they're concerned about it. And they're concerned about it. But ultimately, when that fetus not enters the world, they have no concern about the fetus anymore. They don't care about the fetus being in a food desert, food apartheid situation, in a food oasis. Let me back up. They don't care if the fetus that's now living is in an environment that is not habitable. They don't care about that. They don't care if Sugar Ditch, some of y'all might know Sugar Ditch from Tunica, Mississippi, and what went on, again, it was deplorable. They don't have any concern. They have no concern about the living. They don't care about the living conditions as long as they are okay and they are fine. So it is absolutely sheer hypocrisy when they try to craft it and disguise it in some patriotic flag. And you can't use the American flag for your hatred and your dislike and your evil. You can't use scripture to promote your hatred, your dislike, your evil. It is hypocritical, and people have to call it out. And I told folks, I want to cuss people out right now. I want to cuss them out, but I was told not to cuss people out because of what they have done, the wrong they have done. And some people, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. Guess what? When we're saying, I'm not going to be profane with you, but you need to be cussed out because God is cussing us out right now with regards to the shameful things that humans have done. Because God gives us, the Most High gives us, the ability to make decisions, and it's put in our hand, and we turn our hands over. And that's what has happened. This society has turned its hand over, and many of us will try to justify and rationalize it. We're not here for that. We're going to cuss you out in a subtle way. Some people might get offended with that. We don't care, because I tell folks, again, policies, we can talk about policies, but when you are a virulent, evil person, human being, and you cause harm and pain to other people, I have a responsibility to speak up and say something about it. And so this is what we're doing right now. So again, all lives do not matter. So first thing I want to share with folks is say that under the new Jim Crow, Do not be surprised to see another incident like what happened to George Floyd. I'm just letting you know, again, just as I said, so now some of y'all probably picked up on it. Listen, he has said some things before the incident happened at one place, and it came back to haunt folks. So I'm throwing it out there to you right now because that's what the Most High see. Because again, some of y'all didn't understand when I had said something about cussing out. Y'all didn't understand. I said the Most High want to cuss some people out right now that's going on in this society. But I'm saying to you all, what the deal is, there'll be another George Floyd. There'll be a new George Floyd. There's going to be a new Tamir Rice. And guess what? This is not about clout chasing, anything like that. This is what I foresee, what I understand is going to happen. There's going to be a new Trayvon Martin. This is going to happen. There's going to be another Charlottesville incident. It's going to happen because you now have people who are further emboldened and blazoned by this right here. And what happened, I tell folks, oppressors understand certain things. And some of y'all, I guess I'm going to come up with my piece that I wrote about oppression. How do you have, how you can tell oppression is happening? And that oppressors will always make sure that the people who oppress, a segment of them will agree with them. And that's what happens. And they couch it and they rationalize it, they justify it in various forms, saying, with regards to why it is like that. And they justify that hatred. And so that's what's going to happen. You're going to see it. And some of y'all are going to reflect back and say, I remember that brother saying this right here. So again, this is going to happen. It's going to occur. And so I want to throw this out again to the people who say that they are religious people. Because again, it astounds me that people who say they're religious, who profess religions, and the evil that they engage in, that they put out there, and how they mistreat their fellow man and woman.
United States, so get back, Satan. You got too many names. Get back, Satan. We're tired of your games. Get back, Satan. Quit knocking down our doors. Get back, Satan. We don't need you.
Yeah, get back, Satan, because Satan is in the pulpit. 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 So let y'all know that. And so what I say to some religious people right now, you say you are religious, but guess what? Especially this pertains to Christians in particular. Y'all are more Saul than Paul. Y'all are more Saul than Paul. Paul was a persecutor of the people. And again, Paul becomes redeemed. There's that redemptive quality about Paul. Paul now goes through that metamorphosis. But guess what? You have many religious people who still function as Saul. And again, remember I told you that, guys, you hide yourself with regards to the Bible. You hide yourself with regard to Scripture. So that way people are manipulating, people don't know. And so that's what we have to address. We have to address that. And what happened earlier today, I had a brother ask me, say, hey, what the Democratic Party is going to do? What's the Democrats going to do? And so the brother gave the information. He kept talking, and I invited him to come on the show because I would let that brother come on the show, like go and put it on out, because he said he had no problem. And the brother, he and I know one another, because he called me Geechee Kunda. So I listened to the brother, just like I'm pausing right here. I listened to him. I let him go ahead and get it all out. So then I said, what are you going to do? I said, opposed to the Democrats, I say it comes down to you, because the brother says something that we're going to elaborate further on that pertains to many people. And so again, what are you going to do if we want to have change in this world? Because again, I tell folks, my spiritual beliefs tell me that if I see injustice, I'm supposed to stand up against the injustice. I'm supposed to speak out against the injustice. That's what we do. We had a conversation with someone earlier today also, and that's what I put out there, based on my spiritual beliefs. I can't be functioning, and happy that other people, are in a world of misery and I may have some comfort. I can't be happy about that. That is incongruent to me being who I am and what I'm supposed to be about and my spiritual beliefs, my spiritual foundation. So I'm like, no, I can't. So we have to speak out. And that is never personal, but many people go and make it personal because again, we come against their political stars. Because again, many times y'all heard me discuss it. This is not the first time I discussed this about political groupies. Again, you got political groupies out there, groupies. And so we have these issues. And so we got something else for y'all that, again, need to come down with regards when we look at some of these religious leaders that people like to talk about and that they idolize. You need to think about some of this. This is from a great Bishop Swan right here, Bishop Talbot Swan.
The Donnie Swaggarts, when the Paula Whites, when the Rod Parsleys, and when their black sycophants like Clarence McClendon had the caucasity to rebuke the black church for refusing to support a 34-time convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, unrepentant racist, and perhaps the most immoral person ever to run for president of the United States. They have the nerve to question our stance for righteousness, the nerve to call preachers who don't bow down and kiss the ring of Trump pimps, when y'all been pimping the church for centuries. He was in Los Angeles when Rodney King was beaten and riots were ravaging Los Angeles' streets, but he was too busy shining the rims on his Bentley to speak out and say anything. What I want to know is, where was his voice? And where were the voice of Donnie Swaggarts and these other folk when Trayvon Martin, a young black teenager, was killed simply for walking home? And where were their voices when George Floyd's life was brutally taken under the knee of a police officer, when the nation rose up in protest calling for accountability? Where were their voices when black athletes like Colin Kaepernick took a knee to protest racial injustice and police violence? Instead of supporting these peaceful protests, which was meant to draw attention to the plight of black Americans, they remained silent and even criticized it and labeled it as being unpatriotic. Where was their voice when genocide broke out in Rwanda, when hundreds of thousands of Tutsis were slaughtered in a horrific mass violence? Where was their voice when it came to the suffering of Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied territories? Where were their calls for justice for the lives that were lost and for babies that were being murdered in the streets? Where was their voice when the so-called war on drugs disproportionately targeted black people, leading to the mass incarceration of millions of us who are still languishing in jail for having possession of marijuana, while the law enforcement folk who put them in jail have retired and gone into the cannabis industry and are making millions of dollars selling the same product that put black people in jail? Where was their voice when lynchings were terrorizing black communities in America and we were trying to pass an anti-lynching bill repeatedly in Congress and they sat silently and said nothing? Where is their voice when policies threatened to strip away health care from millions of low-income families, folk with pre-existing condition, when Jesus, who they claim to follow, spoke of healing the sick and caring for the poor, yet they sit here and they endorse policies that go against those who Jesus said were the least of these? Where is their voice when voter suppression laws disproportionately impact black communities, when they try to silence our voices? And here's the thing I want to know: how in the hell do people who have supported efforts to keep us from voting, when we fight to get our right to vote, then think that they have the authority to tell us who the hell we're supposed to vote for? Yeah. Don't y'all get nervous. Don't y'all get nervous. See, not only.
That was Bishop Talbot Swan. And so again, he put out some information for folks to think about and to contemplate with regards to that. but again, we have the people with regards to who say they are people of the cloth. And then again, they're supposed to have this mission that they're supposed to follow in the footsteps of Esau. So to follow in the footsteps of Esau, that's what they're supposed to be doing. Following the steps of the prophet, of the messenger, of Jesus. That's what they're supposed to be doing. That's what they're supposed to be doing. And instead, they show no concern for their fellow woman or human or man. And so with that, I tell folks, we have a tremendous issue in this society right here. And that's why we say it is the new Jim Crow. It is happening. It is real. It is live. And so with that, we tell folks, we got to make some decisions. We got to make some decisions. The Black church has failed. Now, some of y'all like that. I said the Black church has failed. The Caucasian church, Western Christianity has failed. Oh, see, now for some people that becomes a problem because I had said that, and then they like, oh, wait a minute, the hypocrisy. That's why Bishop Swan went and put it on out there. That's why I love my brother. But then also, just to throw something out there, Hispanic church has failed. Yeah. The Asian church has failed. The churches, if you biracial, multiracial churches have failed also. All have failed to look out for the least and the left out in this society. And you hear us talk about, we clamor about that all the time because we understand that that is real and that is necessary, that is needed. And so, yes, what we're going to do right now, this is Run Tell That, and we are having our commentary with regards to what has happened because the world has changed. As I said, you're going to have the situation where you're going to have the new George Floyd, the new Trayvon Martin, the new Tamir Rice, the new Charlottesville. It is going to happen. It's going to happen. Much like Malcolm has said, the chickens will come home to roost, and it's going to happen. That people are going to be stunned. And then guess what? It's going to be some voices that are going to be needed out there to not go and say, we had told you so. We had told you so. This is Run Tell That. We're going to go to a break. We're going to come right back. We're going to continue on with regards to this.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
We are back. Run Tell That with me in Justice League headquarters. And so again, we're going to continue. We have some more for you with regards to things for us to contemplate, to say, wait a minute, what's happening?
We, the so-called minority in this country, are in trouble. But the country may be doomed. The Western world, in any case, is certainly doomed. Because the economic system, which is responsible for our presence in this park, and responsible for the deaths, in so many ways, of so many black boys and girls, the greed that rules this country, the indifference to human life which rules this country, is something that the world cannot afford. And what the world cannot afford, the world has always found a way to get rid of. We are talking about the end of a kingdom, the end of a way of thought, the end of a certain sense of reality. But it is important to remember that whereas we may be minority legally in this country, we are majority in the world. And between now and the year 2000, which is only 20 years, we must find a way to forge the links which will save us all over the world.
Click the link in the bio to get the book.
So we are back. So now I'll say this to some of y'all who have been posting. They did not have us on Facebook. So I went to YouTube. They didn't have us on Facebook. I was like looking. And so some of the responses and some of you all We have mad love for you. And so what we're doing today, we're having a conversation. This again about the new Jim Crow. And you all heard that from my beloved brother. Yes, I have much love for him. I have respect for him with regard to the work that he has done. When you see the fire next time, read that and understand that James Baldwin had no fear. What did I just say? James Baldwin had no fear. James Baldwin had no fear. And so that's why I tell folks, like, hey, he had no fear. So why do we have fear? I tell folks, if you say you love God, then why you have this fear of man or woman? Why is that if you love God? And we're going to get into that. So now I can go, and since we got some of this right here, even though, as I tell them for Our Black Media, I'm talent. And so I got to go and put up some of the comments and stuff like that when I'm supposed to be focusing on my job doing this right here. So again, we're glad to have you all joining us. And so again, talent got to do this right here. But Baldwin throws it out there. There's some talent that's lacking in this world right here. See how I want to read this stuff back? Because some of y'all don't realize that. We have some talents in this world that are not being acknowledged. And so now the producer finally comes in, so now he can post some of the comments. But then again, talent in this world that we're losing. As I said, the new Trayvon Martin, the new Tamir Rice, and that we need to think about that. We need to contemplate some of this because, again, people have been basically pushing us aside and thinking that it's okay. I'm like, we acknowledge that. We understand what is going on. And I said that we address it. As that brother, as I shared, some of y'all just joined us, I said to the brother, he said, what is the Democrats going to do? And I looked at the brother as I shared, just recounted what I said to y'all. I said, I looked at the brother and was silent. I want him to get it all out. I was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That's what needs to happen. What are you going to do? And so that's what occurs. And so we got this right here for you too. Some people think racism exists only in the South. And you go back in time, you hear folks go and talk about and discuss with regards to Black people taking their jobs. And so you got to understand, when I told you about oppressors, they use the same tactics. They use a template on people all the time. And guess what? And if you don't have the people around who realize that this is coming from another time period, you think it's brand new. And I tell my people, again, my scholars know that I tell them, when you understand the origins of something, you understand how it evolves. And so it becomes our job to articulate that. And people think that folks just want to be historians just for the sake of being historians. Sometimes you thrust it into that because, again, you remember something and that becomes your rationale. I mean, it becomes your duty to not go and acknowledge that and say something about it as opposed to being silent about it. And that's what often happens. People are often silent about what is going on. And that's what, brother, say stop, again, idolizing other humans. Absolutely correct. But then we get caught up to the groupieism. We absolutely get caught up into it. So with that, we have these issues that we got to address because I'm saying I'm being a harbinger for it. You're going to see it. And then what are you going to do? Don't cover the Democratic Party. So I got to throw this out there too, let it be known. People will criticize the Democratic Party, in particular because the Democratic Party is tied to Black folks, which we know, we understand that. But now I'm going to give y'all something that most people never even realize. Have you all noticed that anything that's generally tied to Black folks always gets a lot of criticism? When there's something tied to Black folks that Black folks are involved in, invested in, it gets a lot of criticism in general. You get the criticism from Black folks also about that. Have y'all ever thought about that? See, because that's my worldview, because some of y'all understand where I'm Pan-African. And so for that, and becoming from the Pan-African perspective for me, is that I had to look at things, I got to put on my African glasses. I got to look at it. So I didn't have to go and assess and say that people think that they're being analytical and insightful and incisive with regards to what they're doing when it comes down to some of this right here. So I'm like saying, no. As somebody who understands and look at oppression, look at how people function with regard to oppression, I'm like, yes, because you have an affiliation with that, yes, they're going to criticize that, and you will criticize it also. But guess what? You don't criticize the oppressor. You don't say nothing to the oppressor. You say nothing to the oppressor at all. You sit there and let the oppressor go and throw it out there, and the people affiliated with the oppressor, guess what? They're like this, silent. So I tell people, I said, guess what? Black Democrats will criticize the Democratic Party. They'll do that. People who are not Democrats will criticize the Democratic Party. But I don't hear people just having that same fervor, that same fire with regard to the Republicans. Because again, they think that that's something they idolize. Because I talk about this thing called the pet mentality. When you are a pet, that's how you function. You're not even a human being, you're a pet. And so the pet is loyal to their master, to their owner. That's how the pet functions. And that's what the pet does. The pet will speak out against somebody coming towards their owner and other stuff like that. Or do the bidding of their owner. So guess what? People criticize the Democratic Party. I'm like saying, I tell them, no, put the lens, turn it around and put it on the other folks. Do the people who support the independent parties, do they criticize the independent parties like that? No, they don't. They don't criticize the Libertarian Party like that. They don't criticize the Green Party like that. They don't criticize the Republican Party like that. In particular, the Republican Party, I go through that because they're more fearful, more scared to upset their master. So the fear is not a fear of, they can cause harm to me. It's the fear, I don't want to upset my master. And so we're going to do that. The Communist Party, people won't criticize the Marxist Party because they don't want to upset their master, but they do it to the Democratic Party. And so I feel this other little layer in it that certain people never even think about. Yeah, you can criticize them virulently. You do it, you are vicious about your criticism. You are on point. Oh, you heard I just said you're on point about your criticism. But you don't say a doggone thing, a damn thing about the Republican parties and these other parties. And when they do this hateful stuff to us, y'all know I want to use another word. But again, I was told I can't be cussing people out real hard. So yes, that's what happens. And as I tell folks, I say, I can discuss policy with somebody and get them to change it because that has happened in general. I mean, hey, how do you think Social Security came about? Social Security came about because somebody by the name of Eugene Debs had policies out there that others were not necessarily agreeing with, but then guess what? They worked on it. Bam, you got Social Security. That people who are moving up in age and who are disabled or have some infirmity, that they are not able to still live, have some aspect of life. No longer like Tunica, Mississippi. Because again, y'all say I went back to Tunica, Sugar Ditch. Some of y'all don't know about Sugar Ditch. Go think about Sugar Ditch. And guess what? Even in Mississippi today, still oppressing our people, still the continuation, the evolution of it. So I'm just throwing it out there to you all that we're going to see this. And so we're going to move on because we got a little bit more, like I said, for people to understand. And I have these issues with regards to some of us when we go and embrace people and we criticize one group, but we'll not criticize the other. We'll not be as vocal, not as loud. But I go and throw out the other psychological element. Because see, now some of y'all know, I talk about self-hatred. Self-hatred manifests itself in several ways. And people you think that don't have issues of self-hatred do have issues of self-hatred. And so with regards to self-hatred, that's why you criticize this one group and won't criticize the other group because of your self-hatred. Because as I said, things that are tied to Black folks, you have no problem aiding and abetting the criticism and jumping on and bashing it like ain't nothing. Because Black folks are part of that, which I go and tell that is about self-hatred. I look at it, I assess it, I see I'm like, okay, yeah, that's correct. We got problems. They got problems. But then I'll go and turn around. Y'all know how I look. I look at the other side and be like, yo, they got problems. And I call out, yo, they got problems. And I'm going to say no. And that's why I share with some of y'all who just not joining us. That's why the Trumpites and MAGA folks were upset with me because I was calling them out. Yeah, because I was calling them out. I wasn't sitting down. Because I don't play the game like that. Anybody who knows me know that I have talked about the Democrats. I talk about the Democrats, and I said about the Democrats. I said the Democrats are like, I was not to say a word, and then some of y'all probably try to criticize me about the word. The Democrats are soft. They are soft. The Republicans understand to beat up on people. And see, that's why some of y'all are scared about because they beat up on people. The Democrats are soft. That's why you jump on them, because they're soft. See, the Democrats get hard. That was something y'all run. Y'all run because then y'all like, oh, they're militant, they're this and they're that. Become that. See, you can't handle that. You can't handle that. And that's why I tell the Democrats, y'all got to be hard. Y'all playing the game. Y'all, the Republicans just going to push y'all and hit y'all like that. And so then y'all just roll with it. And the Republicans think, oh, we can continue to do it. Then other people think, see the same thing. No, Jamal Touré go and say, no, you hit him. Some of y'all know a phrase I use. This is a phrase tied to that. So that's what I go and say. And so, yes, the Democrats are soft, Republicans are hard, and see some of us get caught up with that. We see that because we are so have so many issues about our machismo that we think something that is masculine, we run with that. And then you have the insanity and all of that right there. But people like me, we look at it and we call it out. Like I say, y'all see what you're on about the Dems, but then call out the doggone Republicans. Call out, I started to call his name, but I won't not call his name. He's from Savannah, Georgia. Call out them people like that and the others. Call out the Ted Cruzes and others like that. Call out the Satans like that. Call them out. Call up the other jokers too, who are no longer, gaining knowledge with regards to what's going to happen on King Celebration. Because King Celebration, you're going to have these people who have issues with regards to race and ethnicity now going to be swearing in the president on the King Celebration. Yeah, next year. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So we're going to move on to this right here. Got something else for y'all too with regards to this.
I hear people call themselves patriots, but they're not even knowing the story with regard to being able to be a patriot. If it was not for Haitians, that those people who come from the island of IAT, you wouldn't have a nation right now. But again, your self-hatred, your hatred, your racism caused you to basically try to dog out Haitians. And so I tell folks, I cannot support a racist. So yes, you all may go and talk about Kamala. You may say what you want about Kamala and talk about with regards to Palestine and also with regards to reparations. But check this out. Those are policies that we can try to work on individuals to get them to rectify and change, because that's what happens. But when somebody who's an inculcated racist and the followers are racist and they already indicated what they will do on the first day, I cannot support a racist, and those of you who want to do that, that's on you. But I'm saying to other people, it is about democracy right now. We need democracy in this nation. We don't need the racism that has been embedded in, that they have infused in the criminal justice system, the legal system, the environmental system, the economic system, the social system, the educational system, the financial system. They have inculcated into every element of the society and looking at trying to cause harm to people of color, the impoverished people. And so again, we can address policies. We can address policies. But racism, unabashed racism and hatred, then we are just like the Nazis. We are just like the Nazis in that time period there where, again, people are going to come after folks and go on witch hunts against people, going back to early American history. So I'm saying right now, I cannot support a racist, will not, because you can justify with regard to the reparation issue, with regard to George Floyd Policing Act, because I'm down with all of those, but I understand I can work on people regarding that. I can't work on racists. I have to come back, because some of y'all aren't going to talk about Palestine. I understand that, again, like I said, it's policy. But the same ones of you who are going to talk about Palestine, that's what I have to think about, throw it out to you. You say nothing about the Congo. You say nothing about the Congo. You say nothing about Sudan and South Sudan. You say nothing about it. But what is always easy and convenient for you to go along with what the oppressor tells you, as opposed to when it either comes out of your own best interest and your own people. The Holy Land includes Africa also, okay? So I have more respect for you if you go and throw that up into the mix too. But again, you're going to go with an unrepentant racist and play the game, because psychologically, you know what the deal is? You're a pet, or you have a pet mentality, or you're afraid of the oppressor. That's what happened. Wakil Jal-Haq, truth has arrived.
Wakil Jal-Haq, truth has arrived. Falsehood must perish. Falsehood by its very nature is bound to perish. That's what we represent. And that's what the issue people have. That's why I say, if the Dems do something wrong, again, they've heard me. Chatham County Dems have heard me go and say that and criticize stuff. See, that's why I tell people, I say, see, people don't know. I was on the show with our councilwoman, Alicia Miller Blakely, on her show, By Us, For Us. 2 weeks ago, I had said Chatham County Dems supporting, this Republican against a DA that's a sister, and she is a Democrat. And I had said that. I put it out there. I said, y'all gonna eat yourselves. I said that. I said that. I said, you all gonna eat yourselves, Dems. And I said, the Republicans will sit back and they're gonna be laughing at y'all. They're gonna be laughing at y'all. See, that's what I do. And so that's why see, guess what? When I did that, the Democrats, guess what? The Democrats, they listen. They listen, Some may not have liked it. And when I was pushing, someone said, y'all got to take some stance. Y'all got to take some position. Actually, I said probably like 3 to 4 weeks ago, I had said that. I said, y'all, this is a problem. And they didn't listen. So when I go and say that, listen here, there's problems with regards to a racist, that there's a racist in this nation that is running to be president, and his minions also, and Shinyans, that they are now going to be problems for us. And then what happened? And so here go the producer will not even silence his phone, but I'm going to get back to that. That's what happened. See, talent should not have to be doing some of this. But anyway, that the Shinyans and the minions are all going to engage in the same evil. They're going to do the same stuff. And then they have a problem because I call it out, because I call them out. They have a problem. The Republicans, they have a problem because I had done that. So that's why I said, I look and I assess all of that. Then I'm like, saying, wait a minute. I have Green Party folks. I've said things. And some of the Green Party folks ain't like necessarily what I have said. That's throughout the years. So this ain't nothing brand new with me doing this right here. And that's why I had gone and say stronger and stronger and stronger each time. It is getting worse. The Republican Party is the anti-democracy party. The Republican Party is the anti-democracy party. If you want to vote for any party, that's fine. But I tell them not the Republicans, because that is the anti. And this is not the first time. It's not based on this election. Any of y'all who know me know that I've discussed this over the decade. They are the anti-democracy party because I've seen the changes. Because when it comes down to voting, look at the pain and anguish they put our people through. One of the traitors, and I'm saying to them, one of the traitors, that you had black people in Alabama who thought that this person was going to stand up for them and protect them, much like Thurgood Marshall, but instead the person turned on them. And right now, I'll let y'all know, his grandfather's turned over in his grave right now, but his grandfather was the one who made helped black people get registered to vote here in Chatham County. Clarence Thomas. Wasn't going to call his name out, but I got to do that. So I'm just throwing it out there to y'all. So again, I'll go and sit back and look at this. I'll go and see the sheer absolute fear of black Republicans who see this party doing wrong and then not do anything about it. And so now for some of y'all, I'll go back in time. I'll let you all know, yes, decades ago, I was recruited to be a black Republican by the late attorney Michael Pratt. And I then went and had this conversation with Dr. Haynes Walton, the dean of black policies, the one who helped create the very academic area of black policies, because black policies was not a part of political science. But Dr. Haynes Walton, when I told him what Pratt wanted me to do, was asked me to do, then he was like, and Dr. Walton ran it down to me, certain things. So I had to go and assess it myself. So man, I made my decisions on some things, and was affiliated with the Democratic Party here in Chatham County also. But then also there's some things that I didn't like. So then I said, hey, I got to step away. So I see the problems of all of them. And so that when people say they're independent, I laugh at folks because folks really ain't independent, because what happened? They're so busy criticizing one and not criticizing the other. They sit silent with regard to that. So that's why I go and say, no, we need to be for real. We need to be for real about this right here. And that policies, I can address policies, but when somebody is racist and inculcated, inbred racist, hypocrite, and we play the games, and then I have, like I started out early on, and you got religious people who say they down with this right here, about they want to protect the fetus, but they have no concern when that fetus is down living in Tunica, Mississippi, or living in Flint, Michigan, when they have nothing right there. And then they have this principle of lock them up. And so that's where it goes to with regards to some of the folks right here. When you have Democrats who support the Republicans here who say, hey, listen, tough on crime, hard on crime, which is a code word for put black folks in jail, put brown people in jail, put poor people in jail. Yeah, because see, the same issue people don't realize, put red people in jail, same issue with people with Native Americans and those who live in the Appalachians. Yeah, on the Ozarks, they have the same issue because, see, now it comes down to class. I mean, economic level. So, again, same thing. But then I can fool you all and snooker you all to say, y'all, I'm going to help America be great. America hadn't failed yet. Tell me where America failed. Someone tell me, where did America fail? Has America failed yet? If anything, I see the wealthy getting wealthier. I see the poor getting poor. I see the pain and the anguish of the people that has always been a part of this system right here. So I'm like saying, so the wealthy is enjoying it. So I don't see where America has not been great. But then guess what? We call that out. And then the MAGA people, the MAGA people, they get upset that I say stuff like that. Now, do I know some MAGA people? Yes. And there's some MAGA people that I know that, again, they have an understanding. They have their understanding. I respect their understanding. But then some like, oh, I'm looking out for black people. So they make sure they're going to talk about it. So it's a few. There's a few. As I say, a few who ain't kissing the behind, a few. So that's why I want to make sure my brothers, my sisters who got it, who at least ain't kissing the behind, I got to throw the shout out for them. But I can go and say the vast majority not doing that. Yeah, that's why I'm going to. The vast majority ain't doing that. The vast majority kissing behind, playing the game. The ones who look just like me. The ones who don't look like me are so caught up into the madness and the hypocrisy till it's shameful. So I just got to throw it on out there. So we got something else for y'all too.
We, the
members fuming. Pittsburgh's NAACP chapter calls it appalling, and many who've seen this video say this political display went too far. Good evening, and thank you for joining us at 11. I'm Josh Taylor, in tonight for Ken Rice. The Mount Pleasant Volunteer Fire Department was in charge of the parade. KDKA's Ricky Sayer was there tonight to get their side of the story.
It took about 24 hours before this department said anything. They are apologizing for what people saw in the Halloween parade last night. And there were real concerns in another nearby community that the same display could show up in their Halloween parade this evening.
You can have one. You want one?
Oh, thank you. Outside of a single Trump hat were hard to spot at the Scottsdale Halloween parade. Here, costumes leaned on the fun side.
Oh, they're throwing.
It's a far cry from what people saw at nearby Mount Pleasant's parade the night before.
Y'all are disgusting.
That's a costumed former President Trump in the side-by-side.
I can't believe you agreed to do this.
With the costumed Vice President Harris being led away, her arms restrained.
I was in the parade last night. I seen it today. I was sick in the stomach when I seen that go down the street.
What appeared at first to be a rifle sat atop the side-by-side.
Because it's a parade for kids, and this is an adult situation, you know what I mean? And why would you show somebody a gun and another person in handcuffs in a parade?
The NAACP called it a painful symbol that invokes a history of racism.
I don't think it's racist. It's Halloween. They're just making a joke.
It was just rude and ignorant. It doesn't matter if you're Republican, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat.
Area leaders on both sides of the aisle have both condemned what happened, including Mount Pleasant Mayor Diane Bailey.
I was appalled, angered, upset. This does not belong in this parade or in this town.
The volunteer fire department organizes the parade, and the mayor says it's up to them to make changes.
They've never taken applications in the past. They've never vetted anyone who wanted to come to the parade.
Bailey says the borough's already talked with the department.
This was just not acceptable.
Some worried the same group would show up at Scottsdale's parade, but those worries never materialized.
We're here for the kids. It's a kids' night. Let the kids have fun. Let all your politicians at home where they belong.
So you're aware there's a hat on your float that says Trump on it?
Well, that's been a tradition since 16.
Moments later, the hat was gone. Mount Pleasant Fire said in a statement, quote, "We do not share in the values expressed by those participants, and we understand how it may have hurt."
So someone says they ain't answer their question about racism, other stuff like that. Yo, check this out. Right now, y'all supported a dictator, so this ain't no democracy right now. This ain't no democracy. So I ain't got to answer what you said. Yeah, just what I put it out there. That's what I said. I go and say, if you like me, then yeah, I do that. That Dr. John Henry Clark said this right here. He said, I only debate my equals. That's what Dr. John Henry Clark said. That's what he said. All others I teach. So that's why I'm just saying, I'm not saying to that person per se, but I'm just saying like that. I ain't got to do all that. See, because again, you think, like I said, Democrats be soft, Republicans be hard. I'm neither one of them. So when it comes down to it, but I will support Democrats over Republicans because, again, I can't be down with this madness. And so that disrespectful crap that I saw, that what I witnessed, that I saw, and that is okay. And that's why I say the MAGA folks, the Republican folks, the Black Republicans, the Asian Republicans, the Latino Republicans, the Caucasian Republicans, don't come out against that type of stuff right there. And that when it comes down to Black women, and so people say what they say, Kamala's not Black. Listen here. That if it's a woman of color, we understand they are always under attack. Black women are always under attack. Women in general are always under attack. And my spiritual belief tells me that the condition of a society based on the condition of the women. So if I know that women are under attack, then that means the society is under attack. So fool, what I'm saying to all of you who support that type of stuff that we just observe, yeah, you trying to talk about you being oppressed. Guess what? You're oppressed because you're oppressing women. You think it's okay. Y'all think it's okay. Y'all enjoy that right there. Y'all think it's cool. Y'all think it's sweet. It's nice. That's what y'all get caught up into. Y'all justify and rationalize it. That's why I say to African people in particular, that's your self-hatred. That's your self-hatred. And just like the sister said, they think this stuff just happened in the South. No, that was in Pennsylvania. So I'm like saying, yo, check this out. And see, some of y'all say, look, he got all this passion. There ain't no passion. It's purpose. See, that's why, again, you don't even understand that. It is purpose. And that, again, you all follow up with this right here. I'm like, yo, we can adjust the policy. Just like y'all heard me go in the video, I go back and say, what about Palestine? Y'all got Palestine on your mind, but then you ain't got Sudan on your mind. You ain't got South Sudan on your mind. You ain't got the Congo on your mind. You ain't got Haiti on your mind. You ain't got Ethiopia on your mind. You ain't got Africa on your mind. And we see all that right there, and it's all the same, all connected to us. It happens at home, and it happens right here. And you allow the discrimination to go on. I can always grab some other people, and that's what I say. But changing folks' mind, I'm not saying we gotta make sure that we are going to elevate these people, and we don't be silent about it. How you think you got here because your ancestors with the stuff worse than you, the entire world that they lived in was worse than any of you today. Yo, that's what y'all been tripping me out about that. Y'all act like y'all like, oh yeah, see, because so. I'm like, fool, they had 24/7 oppression going on every single second. Can you imagine what it's like for somebody to walk into your house and rape your daughter, rape your wife, your sister, your mama? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine somebody coming into your house and raping your son, your husband, your brother, your father? Can you? And guess what? Somebody coming in and then mutilating some people in the family because that happened. But y'all play the game. And see somebody like me, because I know all of this, then y'all think y'all can try to talk to me about this. When am I saying no? What I do, I just be nice. I be courteous with y'all about this right here. When I'm like, get the hell out my face with that foolishness. Get the hell out my face with that, because that's why I say I can never, ever, you can't justify and rationalize. Now, somebody else, you can go talk, engage them in a conversation about this, but if I'm in another environment, then yes. But this is my show. This is my show. You cannot talk to me about that and justify that. We will never allow that. We will not allow you to disrespect women like that. And then if they got a tinge of color in them, we will not allow that. If they want aid and abet the oppressor, what did you just say, Jamal? Aid and abet the oppressor. Because Caucasian women aid and abet the oppression. So again, for some of y'all hearing this for me, this is your first time hearing it, but other people know I have talked about this for past elections. Caucasian women go against, and when the whole Roe v. versus Wade reversal came about, I said that don't be looking at none of us about that. This is how the Caucasian women, they're the reason why they support their brothers, their fathers, their uncles, their nephews, their sons, their cousins. They supported them, and so then all of a sudden, some of them get stunned by what happened when these fools were telling you what they were going to do. So I'm telling you all what they're going to do too. You're going to have the new George Floyd. You're going to have the new Trayvon Martin. You're going to have the new Tamir Rice. You're going to have the new Charlottesville. And then some of y'all going to look at me. I'm just like, I told your ass so. So now you want me to speak up and say something about it. You want me to address it. I'm like, where were you when you need to address the oppression that was happening? Just like Bishop Swan. Some of y'all ain't saw Bishop Swan's video. Some of y'all didn't see it. Where were y'all when all this was happening? I can address policies, but virulent racists? Oh, no. We have to address them. And then I go and think just like this. My ancestors went through. He said, I don't see. Let me back up. Y'all like to talk about Nat Turner and all the other stuff like that and Harry. Y'all like to go and talk about that because it's all flowery for y'all. You don't feel it. They understood Gabriel Prosser. You don't feel it. You don't know none of that. Charles Dessalines. You don't feel it. You don't think about none of that. You don't think about that. You don't think about Ayati. And so I shared some people earlier that I said, Congo Ndoke, Congo Modele. Yeah. And in Haiti, they said, kill the oppressor. They said, kill the oppressor, kill the traitor, kill the whites. That's what they said. Because they understood where the oppression was coming from. Because you can imagine the horrors that they were going through. Somebody said, oh, why they say, can you imagine what was going on? When some people, do you know the lifespan for some people was 7 years? Once they had them in those concentration camps that they call plantations, do you know life expectancy 7 years? And some of y'all heard me discuss this because again, y'all talk about bodies and other stuff like that. Black people had no control over their bodies. Who are human assets? They're human assets. Human machines are human assets. And so right here, infant mortality rate 90%. Right here, 90%. But y'all don't have that conversation. So that's why when I talk about the stuff today, I go and say, oh my God, it's all continuous. Like I tell them, my people, they understand how it evolves. And one sister said to me on Monday, she said, Dr. Teray, you don't realize that you were creating these Black militants, these activists. I listened to her. I'm like, yes, it is, because that goes not just from Georgia Southern, that goes back to Savannah State. So my people understand this will be out there. And that when some of this stuff went down regarding George Floyd, there were some people out there leading it in the streets. They were out there in the streets. There were some of the people in the streets making the moves. When I now got to step up before a group of people together on Hilton Head Island, I got to not speak up and tell them, say, you disrespect our ancestors when you have places called plantations that you all live on. When I go and put it before everybody, it don't matter if they're Asian, Latino, Native American, African, Caucasian, I say to all of them out there. So that's why I tell people like, listen, y'all don't even understand. I ain't got to follow you. You know why? Because I'm a man. Now I respect men and women. And so that's why some of this insanity, that what y'all have done, y'all have betrayed us. Y'all have betrayed us. And I know y'all got your rationale. You got your rationales with regard to that. That's fine. You got your rationale. So when a brother like myself, you want to have a real honest conversation, and then when I tell you shut up with that stupidity and your feelings are hurt about that, then you understand. I'm like you. I told people earlier today, I said, if you ask me a question, you got to be prepared for the answer. Just like if I ask you a question, I got to be prepared for the answer. So if I'm going to tell you shut up with that stupidity, then you got to understand that. Don't get all offended because I say shut up with your stupidity. I'm just letting it be known that you are stupid with regard to that insanity. So that's what the problem is. Your stupidity now causes you to not run with this foolishness right here. So that's why I say how I am people, because that was some of y'all think you know me, but some of y'all don't. But other people, there, myriad y'all out there checking out the show around the world know how I am. I'm equal opportunity. I'm equal opportunity. The fire is always in me, and the producer trying to tell me I need to wind it up. That's what I'm talking. They always trying to tell me what to do. The Little Brother Show on Our Black Media. That's what I'm talking about. They're trying to oppress me. I'm talent, damn it. See that? We can do that. Because see, again, it ain't about no passion. It's about purpose. And so again, I say to you all that those of you who get caught up into this right here, and I said, y'all want to criticize one group, will not criticize the other, and you're silent like that, I detest that type of spirit. I detest that. I need people to stand up and speak out. Like I said, have somebody who's going to come on. The brother, he going to probably see me when I'm walking back through the projects, because that's what it is. Y'all know, I walk through the project. I walk around. People see me, in public housing development, people see me. I walk through there. Because again, I said, these are my people right here. And I'm right there amongst my people and speak out for my people. Somebody said that to me earlier. Like, we need to do something for our people. I'm like, that's right. We down with that. But we ain't down with folks who play the game. You're safe. I'm not safe. See, I'm one of the people. See, I'm from here. I'm not wealthy. I don't have the money. I don't have all of that. So then I'm not able to go into these spaces and places like y'all like call spaces and all that other stuff like that. I'm not able to do that because again, I'm not like that because again, they like Jamal, you know, he not gonna make stuff comfortable for us. And so that's how it is. So we don't know. We want him to play right. You know, he got all of the credentials to play right, but he just won't play right. And so that's why I go and say, I just have to listen to people sometime and then finally go and let folks know, yo, we don't care about you. We care about the Most High. And we care about the people, looking out for the people. This is Ron Tell That. We'll be back next week. We'll have our guests. And so we won't be dealing with any of this right here. And I won't have to worry about the producer doing any more stuff, talking about, you should be winding it up, you know. And so... Oh, you said I need to be quiet. You said, you said, I'm upsetting the people. Now he said, you slam everybody. Oh, he said I slam everybody. But thank you. That's what, see, they don't believe me. That's right. Thank you. We slam everybody, and that's what we've been taught. And so we're gonna be signing out. We said, y'all share all the other shows on Our Black Media. That will say share. Check out the other shows and share them. This is Our Black Media, and we are gonna be signing out. And so they don't move the commercial around. That's why I'm like, I had the commercial set up, but that's what they're going to do. I'm talent, but they won't do right by me. So again, Ron Tell That. Check out our show. The Rabbles coming up next.
Like that.